Alright, so today I'm going to expand upon the previous video where I showed how to use a medium, a light, and a dark pen on toned paper, which is a really quick and easy way to give you full range of depth, light, shadow, contrast, everything in a short amount of time. So now I'm going to show you a variety of ways to color this, which is a really good way to deliver a fully rendered finished product when you're working in a short time frame, like if you're doing graphic novels or storyboarding, or you have to provide concept work for a client or something like that. So to begin, we're going to start by going to my favorite art store. And we're back. So I've laid out 3 different sketches, each starting with the Sanguine Pit Artist pen, but for each one the white and the shadows are done using something a little bit different. And I'm going to demonstrate how to now color each of these using different methods. So let's begin. Starting with watercolor. And just start laying some right over top of it. And this is the one that I did using all pens. The sepia, or the Sanguine Pit pen, Micron black, and for the white, it's the Jelly Roll gel pen and the Sakura Permapaque white marker for the larger fill areas. And as you can see there, the white shows through, the black shows through, and the sepia serves sort of just as the rounding shadows and the form. But it's all still coming through. There we go. And I'll try some brown down here. Kind of what looks to be like soil or rocks or something. There we go. And when that dries a little bit, it's even clearer. But you can clearly see the white of the Jelly Roll pen comes through really strong with this method. Try a different color here. Let's do like a orange to start. Both the Jelly Roll and the Permapaque marker are very pigment resistant, which makes them really, really useful for this technique. And let's do some blending on the fly here. Take a little bit of red to the intersections of these ear-looking plant things. Clean the brush off and just sort of blend it in. You can really move the paint around with this once it goes down. There we go. Maybe a little example of some shadow toning, a little blue in the darker areas. I try to avoid making my shadows just straight black. I either make them blue or purple or something depending on the temperature of the piece. And maybe a little on the leaf in the background. A little shadow from that leaf in the foreground. Give it. And there you can already see it's pretty much finished piece on that side in that short amount of time. Alright, so I'm going to start over here with the water-based markers. As you can see, I'm just putting a little bit down in the darker areas here, because I'm going to take the same water brush, the watercolor, and just fill it in like this. It's a good way to save marker life because these things can be pretty pricey. but they do provide a good solid color, so definitely worth it in my opinion. These are also a little bit easier to work with. You can definitely still see a lot more of the pen and the white showing through beneath, and you can get a bit more precision sometimes, so you don't have to worry about amount of water and bleeding and things like that. This water brush in particular has really great flow control too. It's definitely a good tool for beginners working in water-based media. So there you go. You can see the light parts showing through just fine. Okay, so for the next one, I did the light parts with acrylic ink, and I'm going to color it with acrylic ink. I'm going to use something a little bit different from the watercolor. I'm going to switch to gouache. This is going to go on pretty much the same, but a little more solid and thicker. Works a bit different than watercolor. Okay, so that's method number 2. Now the final one is a bit different. This one is going to be all dry media. I put the line work down with just colored pencil, and I'm going to be coloring it with soft pastels because the colored pencil is resistant to its pigment. So it works just the same way. I'm going to lay down a little green, just like that. Using one of these guys. You can get cheap, way cheaper at makeup stores than at art stores. Just gonna start moving the pigment onto the rest of the leaf. And as you can see, the white colored pencil is actually showing up clear because it is not accepting the pastel. So that's all 3 methods. Alright, so let's review. Pretty much the same method for the foundational drawing. Here we have watercolor, water-based marker, acrylic ink, gouache, and then down here we've started with colored pencils and ended with soft pastels. Go ahead and try it out. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you come up with. If you do your own variations or anything, I'd love to see it. Always feel free to DM me if you need any more advice, tips, or just show me what you got. Thanks for watching.